Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Melissa. So this is going to be for us ladies. Now, about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago now, I think it was, I was having a lot of digestive issues, a lot of burning in my stomach. And so I went to the doctor, and the doctor said to me, after I explained to her how I was feeling, "I don't doubt that you're having those symptoms," and scheduled an ultrasound. I went to the ultrasound. Of course, they couldn't find anything wrong. They did labs, and they saw that my iron levels were low, my hemoglobin was low, my blood sugar was a little elevated, and I forget what else was a little elevated. My cholesterol, I think it was. And she did nothing, said come back in a year. But she did recommend that I go and see a gastroenterologist. So I did go and see the gastroenterologist. I had a scope and then also a colonoscopy at the same time. So one tube went down, one tube went up. Anyways, the gastroenterologist said that everything went fine. She noticed a little bit of inflammation in my stomach, but other than that, everything looked good. There was no ulcers. She did spot a little hernia between my diaphragm and pretty much just told me to lose weight. Put me on Protonix and famotidine. I got myself off of Protonix. I just take famotidine, which I know I got to get myself off of that too, but the burning sucks still. Anyways, I have lost some weight. But that brings me back to the doctor saying, "I don't doubt that you're having those symptoms." Why would you doubt? I'm the patient. You're the doctor. You should be helping me. That's why I'm here. Help me. Don't just tell me I'm fat. I already know I'm fat. I can see myself in the mirror. I don't need you to tell me that and then charge me. And then I told her, I'm cold all the time. Everybody in my house is hot. I'm cold all the time. I usually wear a knit hat, a undershirt, a long sleeve shirt, a hoodie, long sweatpants, socks, slippers, and a blanket, and I'm still cold. That to me, if I was a doctor, would be red flag arena. Like, hello, bunch of red flags, help this lady. But no, just lose weight, you'll be fine. So I did some research with the labs that I had. But this wasn't until I had a health crisis. So I made myself a cucumber salad. I washed the cucumbers. I peeled the cucumbers. I cut the cucumbers. I put them in my little dish and made a cucumber salad. I ate it. A couple hours later, I felt like I was getting a fever. Then I went to bed, and for 3 weeks, I felt like I was dying. Like the third or fourth day, I was bringing stuff up. I don't want to say it because it's gross. Bringing stuff up. I couldn't keep anything down, couldn't keep anything in, if you know what I'm trying to get at. So I knew I was getting dehydrated, even though I was drinking fluids. And I told my son, I said, take me to the hospital. At the hospital, they hooked me up to the IV. They gave me some anti-nausea medicine. And they also did an abdominal x-ray. That's pretty much all they did for me at the ER. Uh, After I got the anti-nausea medication, everything stayed in this way, but the other way was still not staying in. So then I said, I need to figure out how to stop this. I wasn't eating. I was sleeping most of the day. I felt like maybe I was passing out as well because I would lose large chunks of time. I remember watching TV and then several hours later, one of my family members coming in to see if I was okay. And I don't ever remember falling asleep. And it was just like very confusing to me during that 3 week period. But I ended up taking a pro and prebiotic, which helped a lot. And then my husband got me Pedialyte popsicles. So if you're ever feeling sick, Pedialyte popsicles are, yeah, they were great. And so then I got up and I started forcing myself to eat bland meals. And I remember Googling how to cook eggs without oils. And I came up to cook your eggs in water. So like a scrambled egg, but cooked in water. I have a short on how I do it. I don't know if I'm going to add it to this channel or not. But those things get so fluffy. They don't burn at all. And they are delicious. My husband loves them. He said, I love the way you make eggs now. And so then I started eating and feeling a lot better, but it took a good 3 weeks. Then I thought I was doing a lot better. 6 months. Was it 6 months? It might have been 6 months. Maybe 3. 3 months later. About 3 months, we'll say. About 3 months later, my hair started falling out. And when I say falling out, I mean falling out. It got real thin on top. You could see my scalp, everything just was coming out in clumps. So I Googled again and put in my lab results, like the results of my labs. So one, my low iron and hemoglobin were not helping. So I would think as a doctor, if I saw somebody's hemoglobin and iron levels as low as mine were, I would suggest iron supplements. But no, not this lady. Also, my lady time is extremely heavy, so I'm losing a lot there. I ended up getting Flintstone vitamins with iron and then a separate iron pill, cutting it into 4s and taking 2 of those 4 slices per day for 3 weeks, maybe 3-4 weeks, maybe. Once I started taking iron, I was no longer cold. I was no longer tired. My hair fall slowed to normal shed. It was amazing. It was like I had woken up out of a bad dream several years later, and I'm finally able to wear a t-shirt and shorts in the house and not be freezing. Like I would get so cold, I would be shivering in my own home. And this lady said, "Oh, you're fine." I wasn't fine. I wasn't fine at all. I ended up healing myself. So sometimes you have to take matters into your own hands, do your research, and just go slow with it. If you need to increase, increase. If you don't, don't. Because you can harm yourself if you take too much iron. So don't. First, you have to confirm that you have low iron, which I did. I had 2 sets of labs that said my iron and hemoglobin were low, extremely low, like on the verge of heart attack low. And now I feel great. I feel great. The darkness under my eyes has lessened. I still take a Flintstone vitamin because it's a low level of iron. I have to be careful though because I have stomach issues and iron can irritate your stomach lining. So I still take the Flintstone vitamin around my lady time just because I lose so much during that time. And I don't want my iron to drop low again. But if you went to the doctor, do you advocate for yourself? Or do you feel intimidated by the doctor because they should know what they're talking about? And I want to know. Let me know in the comments. I know there's more of you than just me. Also, doctors have become very impersonable. I think that's how you say it. I can remember as a kid, they would know who you are every time you went in. You would go see the same doctor. Now it's like a practice where there's 5 or 6 or sometimes even more doctors, and you don't know which doctor you're going to see that time. They want you in and out like an assembly line. Most of their diagnoses, they're going and looking it up on their computer. Shouldn't you know that before you're diagnosing people? I think that's how you say it. Anyways, as a woman, and a woman who's going to be 50 this year, do you advocate for yourself when you're at the doctor's? Or do you feel too intimidated to? Let me know in the comments. Have a great day, everyone.